What's Nikki like to be around?
Straight in there, bam. Can't get anywhere fast with this.
What's wrong with your foot?
Oh God, bloody injuries. So this is Ted's had a full sponge. This is my training room. Actually, I didn't know this, but it's actually down here. This, I didn't know this was a thing. You're allowed to keep the winner's banner, which I didn't know was a thing. So I finished Ironman Wales, and the lovely Vanessa was like, "Oh, do you want your banner?" I was like, "What do you mean, my banner? What do you mean?" And she's like, "The finisher tape." And I was like, "Oh my God, am I allowed to keep it?" So we're gonna figure this out.
What was Nikki like growing up?
Energetic.
Very energetic.
Very energetic,
Yeah. She, you couldn't just put Nikki in front of a TV and say, "I'm just going to go and do such and such." You know, she wanted to be on the go the whole time.
What were your parents like growing up?
Yeah, like they were obviously very supportive of everything I wanted to do. So yeah, I was like, I want to go to athletics, I want to go to a hockey match, I want to go to a rounders match, and you know, my mum would be, you know, make the meals in between. My dad would ferry me to and from everything. But yeah, like it was one of those. I'd say it was like a madhouse, wasn't it? Like we had so many friends around all the time. And everyone just wants to be at our house for some reason. Maybe it's because we didn't have too many rules, and it was just like, go and enjoy yourself, tire yourself out, and come back to bed when you're knackered. So yeah, it just felt like a very warming house. Like, you know, we'd have garden parties, and the amount of people who just we were like, who are these people? Just coming on the bouncy castle and stuff. And I just feel very grateful there was no like computers. Well, we didn't have computers, phones, and we just played. Like literally that simple. We used to play dub-in, hide and seek, curbsy. Curbsy's where you literally like throw a ball and you try and hit it on the point of the curb and it comes back to you. Played like Pokemon, Pogs. And my parents just like, come back when you're knackered. Marbles, that was a good one. Tamagotchis.
And you killed yours, didn't you, after a day?
Yeah, I wasn't great looking after my Tamagotchi. My dad drew the Ironman logo for all my trophies, which Bex kind of... It's also got some chains on it. Bex kind of chooses which ones stay and which ones goes in the attic. But yeah, we've got some cool things on there as well. Like, I spent quite a lot of COVID times dressed up as Spider-Man. So what was our next door neighbour, little kid, gave me this Spider-Man when we did like an Everest, what is it? I don't even know, the Everest challenge on Swift. There was like literally like 5 or 6 of us doing it. We all had each other on Zoom, and I did part of it in Spider-Man, but I was raising money for charity as well. And she brought that around as a little keep going. So yeah, brings back a lot of memories.
I think when she was at junior school, she used to still like running, didn't she?
Yeah.
Although she wasn't a member of any club at all. Like she didn't join CHAMPS until she went to senior school.
Yeah.
But she liked playing football. She liked to mix it with the boys, didn't she?
Yeah.
And play football on the football pitch and mix it in, sort of thing. And play for the school, and also the same with rugby. I think
was more football though, wasn't it,
yeah.
Nikki? There was rugby, but more football, wasn't it?
Yeah, and running, but I didn't think until she went to senior school, until one of her teachers said to us, you know, get a member of a club, go and join CHAMPS Harriers. That's what we did. And of course then it was great. Twice a week she was training. Weekend it was either cross country or in the summer period athletics.
I loved athletics. So I went to an athletics club when I was about 15. I was never like super fast, but I just loved the social element. I used to do 400 and 800 on the track, 4x4, and then this is probably very relatable for anyone who does athletics, that then I was doing like hammer. It's literally like, oh, you've done 3 events, you can do 3 more. So you used to put me for hammer, never be able to get out of the circle, but you get like a point for doing it. Shot put, triple jump, high jump, all stuff I was absolutely rubbish at, but you do it for the club, get some points. So athletics, hockey, absolutely loved hockey. I literally did all sports and master of none. But I just loved just being a football. I loved football. But yeah, I was never particularly amazing at any of them, but just got stuck in.
Oh yes, now we're looking at one of first Ironman.
The first full
in
Ironman,
Bolton.
and look at the goggles.
Yeah, they're nearly taking up the whole of her face. You can only see her teeth underneath.
How
the
come your
goggles.
friend's got nice goggles, proper goggles, Nick, and you've got these?
I didn't have a clue what was going on. I didn't know how long the swim was. This is my scrapbook pile. If you didn't know, it says. Yeah, amazing memories which my dad's put together from my very first triathlon to my current. But yeah, basically, I wanted to make this room. It's actually a bedroom, but we turned it into our little training area, which Bex uses as well. She gets on the gym. But when I left the British Triathlon as a guide, I was like, I don't know if I'm motivated enough to go to the gym. So we were like, well, let's just create it at home. So there's no excuses not to do gym. Like, I enjoy gym when I'm doing it, but going to the gym is a bit of a mission. So I thought I would end up getting binned. So I've created our own gym.
Just to be very kind,
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
You're always very honest. Even if you did something wrong, you would come and say, but you're always honest about it if you made a mistake. And yeah, just be kind to other people. And you were so honest that sometimes...
And she's like that now.
Yeah, just sometimes being in a school environment, you were mixing with people who weren't always like you, and you used to find that quite hard, you know, but I think you've got used to it. It's part of the world, isn't it? And you got used to being with other people. But yeah, you've always been...
school teacher who wasn't kind.
Yeah, we did have one teacher who wasn't particularly kind and used to put people down, but you proved her wrong, didn't you? And you did what you enjoyed, and you've done very well. She's very kind to us, isn't she?
Yeah,
and to her
yeah,
family and her
yeah,
grandparents, you know, considering she lives probably furthest away out of all of her cousins. She goes to see them whenever you can, don't you? And you ring them every week, and she's very kind to a little nephew, aren't you?
Ethan.
Yeah, loves Ethan and buys him gifts and things, doesn't she? And
Yeah.
whenever we come up or she comes to see us, we've always got cake, haven't we? And lemon drizzle or apple cake and flapjacks and...
It's got flapjacks.
Very kind, but sometimes you feel like you're treading on eggshells.
That's changed then.
You've got to be careful what you say when she's in, you know, what mood she's in.
Depends how tired I am from training.
She's always, I think, very helpful to, especially to new people coming through. If they want any advice and they ask Nikki on social media, you always give your advice as honestly as you can, and I think she's very well liked. That's the impression I get when we go to watch the races. She's very, very well liked in the triathlon community.
Bex, you wanted.
Go in there.
And you, Ted, come on.
Oh,
bloody hell, Ted. Titch! Come on, Titch. Bring Titch in.
Oh, that's a bright light, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's quite unique in that regard because from the very start of being involved in the sport, you've always placed a really big emphasis on like connecting with the community and the people, and that's where she draws her motivation from. Like, it astounds me. We'll go to Lanzarote on a training camp, or we'll go to a race, and she will know the stories of people that are stood on the start line, and that will be what drives her to her performance. Like, we stood on Ironman Wales start line, and she'd be like, oh, let me know how so-and-so's getting on, or so-and-so, this has happened to so-and-so in the year, they've been injured for 3 months and they're going for a PB or whatever. And just the ability to store that information first and foremost. But that's, I think, a really unique quality that not many people have the energy to even think about others on top of like delivering a career, an individual career, which has its own pressures and need to perform. So I think, you're pretty unique in that standpoint. And I think you just have a really good perspective on the sport. Like, it's important, it's an obvious priority, we shape our life around it, but it's not what defines her. And I think that's pretty important and allows longevity. But yeah, I've never come across, like, people don't believe me when I say it, but we've never woken up and found Nikki in a place where she's like, do you know what, I just can't be bothered today, I'm not doing it. That never ever happens. It's always like, and I've not come across anyone that's like loves it that much.
This is just a wall of there's photos falling down. We need to update it because these are getting on for quite old photos now. This brings back amazing memories. Florida. When I was a guide, joined not only an amazing program but amazing friends. We went to Florida for a camp and it was just brilliant. It was actually straight after my win at Ironman Lanzarote, and we just had the best time. Like, but yeah, it's just great. Just like whilst you're digging into the pain cave here, looking up at great memories, and
The little Woody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was Nikki's first. I don't think she knew what was going on. And we certainly didn't know what was going on. They did the swim in an old quarry, and it's a long ramp going all the way down. They'd come out of the water and they'd come back up the ramp. They started coming out of the water, and the minutes ticked by. 20 minutes went by, 30 minutes went by, and we thought we must have missed her. So we started walking back up the ramp. And suddenly she by saying, I'm here, I'm coming. One of the last ones to come out, but she did exceptionally well in the end. She did win it, so.
Well, we thought it was going to be a lot longer,
Yeah,
the race, and Nikki's auntie and uncle came to support as well, and we thought, me and her auntie thought we had plenty of time to go to the toilet because Nikki was taking so long. And whilst we were in there, she actually managed to really outdo herself, didn't she?
Yeah.
And did a really good run, and she finished, and we actually missed it, which she's never let us live down. We've learned now not to do that, just to wait. And I did say to her after the race, you know, what did you have for breakfast? And she said, well, I'm quite hungry because I only had a chocolate brownie and a flapjack, she said.
I think the thing with my first triathlons, it was very welcoming. The triathlon community was really friendly, so much so that actually the organiser phoned me and my friend up the night before the race and was like, where are your bikes? Because you had to rack the night before, but obviously we weren't aware of any of that. So I was also like, oh my God, I'm at home. Like, drove like an hour over to rack the bikes and stuff, but everyone was so friendly. It wasn't like, you haven't wrapped your bike or you can't start the race. And yeah, it just felt very welcoming, very warming, and you know, you could just pick and choose where you wanted to go doing it, and I just loved that element of it. Like, you could just pick triathlon up and go to whatever race, visit places you want to visit at the same time. So yeah, because it was so welcoming, and it just hooked me straight away.
Yeah.
This is the first one you did, the Little Woody.
And that now is our fruit bowl.
The bowl you won, we used that as our fruit bowl. So
What year was it?
this was 2010.
I think that's the one that actually really decided that you were going to go pro, wasn't it? Because I think you won it for your age group, but you actually came 10th overall in professionals, wasn't it? And I think there was about 30 professionals in that race. So coming 10th over the 30, that's what swung it, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think after that little Woody race, really.
Yeah.
Apart from the swimming side of it, the biking was good, and the run. We always knew she was a good runner anyway, from her athletic days. So we knew she'd be a good runner. I can't remember where she came off on the bike, but she wasn't first coming off the bike. But I just remember then after that race, and you know, maybe after the Ironman even, when she did the Ironman UK one for the first time, I thought then, yeah, she could probably do it. Reason being, her time for the Ironman one, she did no real training for it as such, but she still had a good time. So
Well, I crossed the line. I was crying.
11 hours 15 you done it, didn't you?
Well, I was,
And you said, I'm never doing an Ironman again. You
I was
said.
like, I'm never doing triathlon, and I was still rowing at the time. Like, I'm going back to rowing and never doing triathlon again. That was too hard. Yeah, so I went to university, and the story there was that I was going to go with a friend. We're going to do athletics. Unfortunately, she didn't end up getting the grades, but she wanted to go to a different uni. So I went up on my own, and I thought, right, there's the sports hall, which basically was like the freshers' fair for sport. And I was like, right, where's athletics in this massive sports hall? Because they had like stands to kind of come and meet and join up. So I found the athletics one, but on the way to the athletics store, this gorgeous hunky man came up to me and he was like, because I'm quite tall, they were like, have you ever thought about rowing? And at the time I was like, not really sure what the sport is. Anyway, so I gave it a go and absolutely loved it, and I was a bit of a big drinker back then. So we did some training and then went out boozing all night, and I was like, wow, this is cool. So that's how I started rowing, but I couldn't row, so I had to, there was like something called development squad for new timers, and learnt to row, had the best social circle, made some amazing friends who's still really good friends with now. And yeah, took up rowing and slowly progressed from development squad to like senior squad at uni.
Nice. And then what actually got you into triathlon to start with?
A friend from rowing actually. So I was rowing and then I was just out with multiple rib injuries, and I actually did some teaching in the interim period of trying to save up some money, kind of do the rehab what I could, which was a bit of cycling and some strength and rehab program. And a friend was like, I'm doing this half Ironman. I was like, whoa, what is that? And she talked me through it and I was like, that is bonkers. Anyway, I let her go and do it, and then a few months later she's like, oh, I'm doing another one. And I was like, and she was like, you should come and do it. And I was like, oh, what's it involved? And she obviously started the swim. And I was like, well, stop there. There's no way I'm going to be able to do 1.8k of swimming. Or was it 1.9k actually? I probably should know that. Anyway, she pulled my leg and I ended up signing up, and I absolutely loved it. So my friend got me into that, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to go back rowing now, because I went back my ribs were getting better, so I went back rowing. And she was like, oh, next year we should do an Ironman. And I was like, oh my God, you are bonkers. And then I ended up agreeing. So then we did Ironman Bolton in 2011, and I crossed that line, and I cried, and I was so overwhelmed by everything, achieving it, but also how hard it was. And I was like, I will never do a triathlon again. And then classic, you say it now, don't you, sometimes when you're doing Ironman, you're just like, oh, that might be my last one whilst you're in the race. I'll go back to 70.3s or something. And yeah, afterwards, I said, no, going back to rowing. That lasted about a month. I ended up stopping rowing and went and did some age group racing, and that's how I met Bex, because then I had to finally learn how to swim properly.
And I must admit, when you did become professional, Nick, how kind everybody was, made you feel very welcome as a pro, didn't they? And I think you do the same, don't you?
Yeah.
There's a new pro.
Like, you know how, like, as a first pro, like, you go into this tent for the pro briefing, and it's the most daunting thing. And everyone was so kind and welcoming. I remember Lucy Gossage sent me an email saying just go out and enjoy it, and then Susie Cheetham came and
they were really
hello.
kind.
This was your first pro race, and this is
Is it Staffs?
Yeah, this is it. Because Lucy won it. Susie came second.
And I was so
Sam
far
Warner,
behind. How far behind
Georgie
was I?
Medford. You came sixth in that bit. I can't see what it says.
That's
Lanzarote.
Lanzarote, yeah.
So that was the first win then. Not there. There. Lanzarote.
Yeah, that one.
So it was first one.
So we're looking at Ironman Lanzarote now, where you got your first win, Nick. In
2019.
Yeah.
It took me 3 years of being a pro to win. Definitely my favourite win and event has been Ironman Wales, which obviously is very recent in my memories, but also it's the most special day. Like, literally how the whole day played out was just the most perfect day. I had my family there, had friends there, had friends I hadn't seen for ages there. The triathlon community was just, Wales is just insane. Like, it's proper, you're on the beach starts, goosebumps, everyone's lined up in zigzags, like, you literally can't, I can remember on the run in particular, I literally didn't have 1 second where I could just think and bring thoughts in. It was just like a constant scream, which was just incredible. The sun was out. To be fair, it was, if anything, a little bit too hot. It was boiling. It's just the most amazing place. Like, that was my first pro Ironman, and my coach at the time, Rob Cheetham, like, almost persuaded me a bit to go to it, because I had a terrible world 70.3 champs, and he was like, oh, I reckon we should do Ironman Wales in 2 weeks. Just like dip your toes into the full distance as a pro. And I was like, oh, Rob, do you think so? Do you think so? And honestly, it was the best decision ever. And then when I did that race and saw how amazing the spectators, I just don't even know if you could beat that many spectators in one place. It's just incredible. Like, the run is just like piles back, like, you know, hundreds of thousands of people there. And I said I'd love to win Ironman Wales one day. It's been a dream come true. And I've said straight after the race, I was like, I don't know if a race will ever match that feeling, that emotion, just everything. It's just incredible.
Please put your hands together for your Ironman Wales 2023 champion, Nikki Bartlett!
Did you say that's right?
Yeah. Yeah, Wales was pretty special.
Yeah, you know,
I got
people are always very friendly to us, aren't they?
You got your selfie taken?
You had a selfie taken.
We had a selfie, our first one.
We walked to Saundersfoot, and we were down by the cafe. We would just hang around, didn't we? Just by a wall and Craig, our son, was sat on the wall, and we just sat there. And this woman came along, she just started chatting to us. And her husband was doing the race. And she said, who are you here to support? We said, Nikki Bartlett. And she said, oh my gosh, she said, let me have a selfie with you. I've got to have a selfie, she said.
We're trying to talk her out of it because we don't look very fit.
No,
We're not fit like
Nikki.
Nikki.
We did talk her out of it, but her husband's a follower of Nikki's, and she had to take photographs of her bike and everything, else it was racked up. But in the end, she did get her selfie.
Nice.
And then an amazing age group guy, he does his own like crafting of clocks, and he created this amazing clock after I'd won Lanzarote. In fact, he actually did it first time for when I came second at Pace at Axe, and then he then separately made a drop down for Lanza when I won that. I think I won that like 2 weeks after Pace at Axe. Oh no, sorry, I didn't win Pace at Axe, I came second. And then this is the drawing my dad did. He loves drawing, some good artwork. But yeah, it's just this is my first win at Lanza. My brother put that together for me as a present, so congratulations. But yeah, amazing memories in this room, and I just love getting stuck in. And we like to keep triathlon down this floor, and then as soon as you hit the steps, you're in chill out mode. So yeah, it's quite nice to have a 3-story where it's like triathlon, then you go in the garage, so all the bits and bobs in there, and then it's upstairs, chill, mentally switch off. That's a good question. Like anything between 22 to 29-ish, 28 hours, I'd say is 22 to 28 maybe. I'd have some weeks where I might crack a 30, 31, but that's probably because I'm doing a bit more biking. But to be fair, like we probably don't focus so much on what hours we're ticking off. It's more kind of what I need to do to get better. And it's at different points of the year. Like I tend to do a lot more swimming over the winter period. And, you know, if you suddenly have a bike focus, the hours will go up. And then sometimes, obviously, I'm having a more swim, gym, run focus. The hours are going to drop down. So we don't actually focus on the hours in particular. That's just sometimes if you're in a big block of training, when you put it all together, that's kind of what it comes to. But we also try and plan training, so I'm also having, you know, life as well. So I'm not so tired that I can't do anything else outside of training, because for me, having friends around for a meal or going out and playing crazy golf and going to the pub for some food after is important to me, and it's how I re-energise, it's how I get energy from others and good friendship circles. So for me, I don't want to also put too many hours in that I don't have time for that. So I'd say an average week would be in a big block like 4, 5, 6 swims a week. Probably 5 bikes, 4 to 5 runs. But it really does depend on what time of year it is, and kind of if I'm building up for an Ironman or a 70.3. But yeah, like I wouldn't say it's so many hours, it's kind of what you're focusing on at a time. So yeah, it was World 70.3 Champs in St George, and it was a bit of a last minute decision. Like I'd qualified, but because it was so close to Paralympics, because obviously Paralympics got postponed and I was a guide there, and we decided literally like 6-7 weeks before to go and do it.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I think there was literally like 3 weeks between Paralympics. Obviously, bearing in mind we had to come back from Tokyo and then go out to St George.
We had no accommodation and it was
Yeah.
all like fully booked. So Nick's contacted the local tri club to see if there was any homestay opportunities.
Yeah, Nick Chase kindly put us in touch with our homestays.
They
hosted us now for three different world champs.
different world champs.
And they're literally like, we talk to them most days, like
We consider them family.
Yeah, we
really.
literally consider them family, and to be fair, like it's kind of the race I'm hoping to do as my first race next year is the North American Champs back in St George. Obviously don't want to rush the rehab programme for it, but it's kind of, we want to go back to see them as well. And yeah, we love them, and it was kind of like one of the best things what came about from that race.
Just want her to be happy, I
Yeah, I
suppose,
think
as
in life
parents.
as it is, really.
Yeah, just carry on as she is.
Just
and
carry on as she is, it's fine.
She doesn't need to change, nothing
No.
needs to change, but, you know, just hope she achieves everything that
She wants
she wants to achieve and doesn't get any more injuries.
That's probably
Just enjoys her life. That's all you want as a
and
parent.
that's what she does. She gets up early in the morning, trains hard all day, every day virtually, and that's it. That's her life. She enjoys it.
Yeah, we're very proud parents.
Yeah,
we
very
should
proud
add,
parents,
shouldn't we?
yeah,
We've always been proud of Nikki.
So it sounds sad that it's still kind of connected to the sport, but we just love like going running and exploring. So we will in the off season just go to random parts of the UK. Last year we went to Gran Canaria and just explored. And then seeing family, like we've got a young nephew that we love spending time with, and yeah, family and friends are like key.
Dogs.
Yeah. And like
Dogs.
we're big foodies. Like we love going out for food. That's where like we love exploring new places to go for food. Yeah, like I get loads of energy from family and friends. So you know, like yesterday I met up with a friend and we got kicked out. Like we're talking that long, being like 3 hours over a cookie and coffee. And they're like, oh, so you need to leave? And we're like, what? And I was like, God, it's really dark outside. And we're like, been there 3 hours. So that's where I get loads of energy from as well. And yeah, just like we're going to like some of the women's football games and just love sport.
Oh yeah, we're big into off the back of the World Cup and Euros. We follow the Lionesses quite a bit now, which it's just been really nice to follow a different sport because it can become a bit triathlon centric. But yeah, we lead a pretty simple life, to be honest. So
if you look around our house, it's pretty simple.
We don't want for much. Just
just
enjoy.
Being around good people is important to us.
Use that degree.
Yeah, I might use my degree, which I got 20 years ago. Do you know what? None of my phases, so to speak, of life have ever been planned. Like, you know, I never planned to go to sixth form, really. I never planned to go to university. Dogs. Never planned to have Ted. No, I never planned, like, to be a rower, never planned to be a triathlete. Like, none of my phases of my life have planned out. They've kind of just all happened. I just think, just, like, live in the moment. Like, if someone said in 10 years... You don't know what's going to happen in 10 years' time. So, like, I just want to be in the moment, and the day I don't enjoy what I'm doing is the moment to, you know, that you've had your time. But actually, every year I find that, not to say that I'm more motivated each year, I'm just so motivated. Like, I'm so motivated right now to come back, be even stronger, to work on my weaknesses, to also work on strengths, and just come back and see what I can do, and see where I can go in the sport. If this is as good as it gets, that's fine. I've had an amazing time. So I find that question really hard to answer because at no point in my life have I planned anything.
Good question.
Yeah. So it's a really good question, but I have no answer.
That's the first.
Yeah, no? Yeah, so I can start gym in 1 week. It'll be very slow progression. So I'll be here in a week's time with you, showing you a rehab program of plantar fasciitis and lower limb.
Cool.
So, yeah.
We'll see you in the next video then.
Yeah.
Faster recovery equals better performance. CBD Triathlete. Train harder, recover faster.